Hey everyone, I'm going to give you a tour of one of the succulent beds that I actually installed in the front yard. This whole area is about 2 years old. You can see a bunch of stuff on the ground, and this is because we have storms coming in, so I actually have to lay umbrellas down and put things on the ground that I'm a little concerned about. Once the winds start coming in, I don't want to have umbrellas flying on me. So that's why you see some of this in this condition. But I thought it would be good. It's starting to drizzle a little bit, so this won't be a super long video. I won't go through the entire yard. I'll just go through a little section of it, but show you some of what I put in the past 2 years and talk a little bit about the plants. So in this area, you're going to see the jade. This is the ogre's ears. They're super cute. If you look at them, they're just super adorable little plants. I have lots of little aeoniums. This is actually a broken pot. One of the tricks you can do in your yard is if you have a broken pot, you just lay it on its side and then plant on top of this. When I originally did this last spring, all of these plants were super tiny and much smaller, and so it looked really cute, like there was a little pot, and it was tipped on its side basically and had all these little plants. So I'll redo that when it gets to springtime again, and some of these plants actually start to slow down. A lot of these are just cuttings from different areas of the yard. Most of these aeoniums are called Blushing Beauty. It's actually one of my favorites. Out here in my front yard, there's not a lot of cover, and so I tend to get the more extreme type of microclimate conditions. I can get freezing temps out here. I can also get blazing hot sun. That is what that desert museum tree is supposed to help to support. And there's actually another one that I put out here. So hopefully when those get big enough, they will actually provide a lot of cover, and it'll change the microclimate out here. So it'll be a little more friendly for succulents. I don't have to cover them quite as much. In the short term, that is, these type of plants can handle that type of weather. Being a little closer to the house also, it makes it warmer. So just remember, when you're planting the plants outside, if you're in an area which is semi-hostile, the way it is for me, one of the tricks that you can do is put some of your more tender plants a little bit closer to the house, and that will actually help. This is just a standard aloe. I don't know who the baby daddy is on this one, so it is what it is. But it's just an aloe that I got from somebody off of, I think, Facebook, and planted that in. And then again, a lot of these are just cuttings that I have put in over time. And the always wonderful Fred Ives, which is this one right here, which is my favorite because it will turn orange. All of these leaves start to turn orange. It gets bright purple in the center. Super beautiful. So let me go ahead. I'll take you on a little tour, going around and hopefully reminding myself not to put my hand in the video like I just did a couple minutes ago. So again, a lot of these plants, they can just handle, these are more of the Blushing Beauties that I put in the ground because those are super hardy for my yard in particular. They grow like crazy, and they change, 4 to 6 different colors per year. It's just super awesome. So I love those plants. I plant them in mass, pretty much wherever I can. More of the Fred Ives. These got a little bit hit by bug previously, and so I had to spray. I'll do a video at some point that talks about the spray that I put together that helps with those. But these, I love them, but they attract bugs like crazy, and it looks like I have some little gross stuff going on here too, so I'll probably come out and hit this whole area with some bug spray. Again, some additional, just standard variety aeoniums. These just tend to stay green all year round, but I like them because of the height, so it provides the difference. You can see it's kind of like a undulating flow is what I'm going for in this particular area. And some of the sedums, these are great. They're super beautiful because they're orange, but as they start to send out their blooms, then they can start to get pretty leggy. So what I usually do is just cut this little piece off right here. I'll cut off the rest of the plant, toss that out. I know that's a horrible thing to say because some people save every single one of those leaves and they propagate off of them. I don't. So I will just save the pretty part like this, cut it off, put it back in the ground, let it grow again. And that's how I keep it, so it's kind of more compact. But right now I'm not going to do that because again, I'm in a semi-hostile area, and there's potential for some weird, freeze to come through, or some really, really damp weather, and I could end up killing a bunch of these plants if I play with them right now. Got a little opuntia underneath there, which is super cute. It hasn't done really much. It gets a little bit of sun in this area, but it's pretty. I like that purple. Just super awesome and beautiful. It was a tiny, tiny little thing when I put it in here. Wasn't quite sure what it was going to do, and it stayed nice and cute. So that's been good, and I like the little purple tips. I think that's super pretty. So again, this was just a raised bed that I put in, so that I would have the ability to have the drainage. So it's really hard to see in the video. If I back up a little bit, you can see the nice weed right here. That's always helpful. But you can see these rocks are here, which is holding the mound, and then it mounds up like this and goes over. And the reason why it's like that is because when the water comes down, it'll drain, and it keeps it off the roots of the plant. So you'll hear me talking a lot about you just don't want to give these plants a lot of water. That's what's going to kill them, right? So, make sure that you're not doing that. You can see in this area when it comes springtime, this poor little aloe is under here getting eaten up by this cotyledon, right? So I will cut this back because this guy is clearly going to town here, and that's too much, and I need to give some space to this poor little aloe under here so that it can see sunlight. But again, I'm going to do that in spring because I'm still a little nervous with all of the water happening right now that it will rot. Got some other little cute plants under here too that I would want to give some more space to. And then these beautiful little flowers. You can see, again though, they're getting leggy, right? So they've got these long pieces coming out. I'm just going to cut the pieces off that are pretty, shove them back in the ground. So all of this just kind of comes in and becomes tighter. Like I've mentioned before, I'm not a collector. I'm definitely a designer. So what I look for is how do I keep it kind of tight and intentional. And that's the best way I can describe what I'm doing. This is a jade that I put in. That was a cutting literally 2 years ago. Teeny tiny little thing. It's probably maybe about this big. And then it's gotten that big, so it clearly likes that spot. That's how you can tell these plants like what's going on, because they actually grow like crazy. This is one of the mangaves that I had in the back. I think it's Kaleidoscope. It's really, really beautiful. It gets this pink and all sorts of stuff, and it will get really, really big. When it's little, I'll leave it in this spot. When it gets bigger, I'll probably move it towards the back. But what I like about it is it gets a bright, hot pink. You can kind of see the beginnings of it right there. You can see that bright hot pink starting to come in on the green, and this is gorgeous when you have those two together. By the way, this one, the interesting thing about it is if it's in the ground, you'll get less of that bright hot pink, and what you want to do is you want to stress it out. So don't do it when it's super hot, but when you're kind of in a milder temperatures, you can actually pull this out of the ground, cut its roots off, and then stick it back in the ground, and it'll go blazing pink because it's upset about the fact that you did that. So that's called stressing a plant. You're doing it on purpose. It's kind of weird with succulents and cactus. Sometimes when you actually stress them out and upset them, they're going to give you the best colors, which is opposite of most plants. Most plants you want to keep as happy as possible. You don't want to do things like that to them. So again, lots of little blooms, and I need to take off. One of the things about a succulent garden is that you actually get flowers all year round, which is super awesome. This is Capensis. I have another video that talks about this in Plant of the Day, where you can see this is what happens when you let a vine go crazy. And you can see it's semi-invasive, so it's actually starting to go in where a lot of the other plants are. And so what I'm going to need to do is pull that out. It's actually pretty easy to do that. You can also see there's a little bit level of frost damage. Lots of nice little leaves in there, which is great. But you can see right here, see how this doesn't have a lot of those little green leaves all over it? That's just frost damage. Sometimes if it gets too much sun, or if it gets too wet, or if it gets too cold, then that's where you're going to see that kind of stuff. You see the legginess. So all I would do is just cut this back. It's no big deal. Just yank on it, it'll come out of the ground. Super, super easy. So it's actually an easy thing to take care of. And then it will grow like crazy again, because as you can see, this thing is very invasive, but these little flowers are so super cute. And I have multiple areas in the yard where I've let it grow like this, just because I like the softer look, how it's breaking up the rock, so that it doesn't just look like, you know, it's so intentional, right? There's places that I want it to look less intentional. Okay, over here it's much more sunny, or much more shady, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Much more shady over on this side, and so I tend to put a lot of the aeoniums in. These are just different varieties, different cuttings. I've got the undulata jade that's in here, which is one of my favorites. That helps to kind of fill out this back area. And then I usually bring in some of these, again, these blushing beauty aeoniums, because as you can see, they start to turn this pink, and it's super beautiful. As it gets hotter, they'll curl up and they almost look like roses. So super beautiful. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and head on inside. It is actually starting to mist. So hopefully you enjoyed this little tour of one of the beds. At some point I'll talk about how I actually put these beds in, so you can see some of the other areas of the yard and the other beds that I've put into place, and talk about what it takes to do something like that, and how you can actually grow these plants even in semi-hostile areas. So as always, if you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe. Love to hear your comments or questions about any of the plants. I'll respond if I know the information as best I can. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.